My name's Andy Janicki, and I live here in Green Township, and I'm part of the Southside Historic Village, and I'm going to explain here how we built the oven and what type of oven it is. But anyways, we started with a good footer underneath, and we're down about 4 feet, and the footer was built with rubble, you know, in case there's any water. It's supposed to be an area where there's some water passing through here, so this gave us a good stable foundation, and it keeps everything dry under there. After we put the footer in, we started laying cement block, and came up, you know, to the base of the oven here, and we put a perlite and Portland cement mixture, which gives you good insulation qualities, and then we started laying our fire brick on that. And we have like 3 layers of fire brick on the bottom, on the sides, and here you could see inside the oven. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but anyways, 3 layers of fire brick, 3 layers of fire brick coming down this way, and then 3 layers on top. And on the sides and on top of the oven, there, you know, we have a void area here from where the cement block was, so we filled that all in with loose perlite insulation. Once we did that, we just covered the whole oven with the screen mesh, and then the oven is stuccoed, you know, with white Portland cement. Now the roof was put on, just like any of these buildings. You know, these ovens mostly came from the European, Austria, Germany. That's the type of oven this is. A lot of them were in the Alps and things like that, and they were sort of like communal ovens. But anyways, you know, you have protection from the weather. That's why the roof extends out, and insulated doors. Again, the oven has no chimney. It's a black oven. They call it a black oven. When you start your fire in here, the cooler air goes into the bottom, hits the back of the oven, circulates out, and that's the way your air circulates through the oven to get the fire. Once the fire is burned down, it takes about 50 pounds of wood, you know, to heat it up to the right temperatures, and then you push everything to the back, or you can rake the ash out, because the brick, you know, picks up all the heat, you know, that's radiated from the fire, and this oven will stay hot for, you know, for 2 weeks. It'll still be warm. It loses maybe almost 50 degrees in a 24-hour period. And I don't want to go, I guess we'll go into how you bake in this type of oven, but that's the basic construction of the oven. We have a vault under here, so your wood is stored under there for your fire. And like I said, it takes like 50 pounds of wood to fire the oven. And again, like I said, we can go into the operation of it if you want, you know, and explain how the oven bakes and everything. Okay, now the baking in the oven, I'll probably just remove the doors here, because that way you'll be able to see, you know, the oven chamber here. And you could start this oven like, you know, 24 hours before you use it, because it holds heat so well. Right now we're running between 350 and 375 degrees in here right now. This fire was started yesterday at 1 o'clock, and right now it's probably about 3. So, you know, over a 24-hour period, this oven is maintained as 350 to 375 degrees. Now that's a hot enough oven to bake bread, so this morning we baked some, you know, some bread, some pies, and now we're even throwing some baked potatoes in here and sausage. So, you know, it's very versatile. What's interesting about the oven, it has 3 sources of heat. You have conduction, convection, and radiant. Now the conduction, these bricks are really heated, you know, super heated, so whatever you bake, you lay it on a brick, so you're getting this conduction heat from the brick. Now, being that the whole thing is brick, it's radiating heat, so it's baking the tops of the bread or whatever you have in there. And then the other type heat would be convection like most ovens in your home, or convection ovens, because they have a fan and they just circulate the hot air. Well, this is doing the same thing. While you're baking, there's air moving here constantly, so you have the convection type heat. So it like I said, it's very unique because it has 3 different types of heating systems in it. Now, what they would normally do in a hotter oven like this, you would bake your breads first, your flat breads, and your the bread like I baked this morning. Now is maybe possibly the next day, as the temperatures drop, they would bake things like cakes and things like that, where the temperatures don't have to be as hot. And toward the end of your baking systems, you could you can go ahead and put your crock pots in there, and just leave stuff in there for 24 hours. So the ovens also worked where a whole community would get together. They would bring their dough in and mark their breads, whatever they had, and the whole community would make their breads, because then they would store their breads. I mean, this was their main staple, was bread and cheese. In Europe, where these ovens were used a lot. So, they'd store it in racks in their kitchens and things like that, and they would use it all winter. And by soaking it in, that's where the cheese fondue came in, where they would soak the bread in that, to soften it. But these ovens were very important, in the everyday diet of the people that sort of lived in the Alps and places like that.